We're using the PACER system to follow all the actual judges' calendars and looking for all the cases based on relief of stay filings. Then we're looking if there's actually a property in that estate for the relief of stay, and then we're marketing to those individuals that's being foreclosed on or being targeted by the lender to be taken out of the bankruptcy for relief of stay. Now, what does that mean? The minute they get taken out of the bankruptcy, the foreclosure clock starts. Here's what we're doing. Only properties with equity. 7 days, follow-up is a letter every 30 days for 1 year. Yes.
You mentioned the word PACER.
Mm-hmm. What is PACER? PACER is the government court system that you could search and have access to that tells you all the court cases in the United States based on the bankruptcy and so on. It's called the PACER system. Everybody can get access to it. All you got to do is sign up for it and you can get access to it. Absentee owners, 3 to 5 levels deep. I'm going to say that again. 3 to 5 levels deep. It means most gurus teach you to send a letter to an absentee owner in a particular zip code. That's 2 levels deep. Absentee owner in a particular zip code. If you're going 5 levels deep, absentee owner in a particular zip code with equity in their property, with high income to debt ratio, with multiple trade lines. 5 levels deep. When you get a call from somebody from a 5-level deep campaign, you know you have a deal. Now, how we're following up with that. The first follow-up, we're doing a letter. The second, a postcard. If we get a response, the third is a lumpy mail piece. How many of you guys know what a lumpy mail piece is? Great, great, great. A lumpy mail piece is a distinguishable piece, like a trash can. It could be a bottle. It could be a fortune cookie that you put into the mail, and it's sent to that person. One piece that we use is a trash can. It's actually a blue trash can that we put a label on, and it goes right in the mail. And it says, it's obvious you threw my last 3 letters in the trash can. I'm going to let you know, if you do this one, you could be costing yourself loads of money. That's how the letter goes. And what it's meant to do is to get in front of that seller, buyer, renter, whomever, and put your message in front of them that you want to buy that property. So that's what we do as a third touch. And then every touch after that for 1 year is a letter, postcard. Lumpy mail can be expensive. That's why we only do a lumpy mail piece when the person has called us back and we know that there's a deal there when they're ready to sell. Vacant properties. That vacant property is 3 levels deep. Vacant property in a particular zip code with equity in the property. 3 levels deep. What is the minimum equitable level? We go for at least 40% or more. $40 to free and clear. That's my level. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
What would a third level be, for example?
Tell me what the third level is, guys.
For vacant equity level.
Mm-hmm. No. You guys ain't even listening. Vacant property with equity in a particular zip code. Mm-hmm. Owner occupied again. No, I'm sorry, this is the first one. Owner occupied. We're doing these owner occupied is when we want to do deals like subject to, lease with option to buy. 3 to 5 levels deep. Follow-up campaign is a letter, then a postcard, then a lumpy mail piece if we get a call back, and then a letter postcard every 30 days for 12 months. Driving for dollars with a twist. Now, when we do driving for dollars, I teach my people to do it kind of different from everyone else. Of course, we identify the property that we like, and if it's vacant, we use TLO to try to find the telephone number. But while we're in that neighborhood, we're actually going around to each neighbor, and we're putting these door hangers on the doors. And it tells them about our company. The neighbors that are home will knock on the doors. Here's where a lot of people make a mistake when they're doing vacant properties or driving for dollars. If they identify a driving for dollar property and they look at the property, but the person still lives in it, they're knocking on the door, if they even do that. And they're saying, I want to buy your house. The person said, what makes you think I want to sell my house? Well, maybe that crackhead laying in the corner right there and that bottle of this. Well, no, that's the wrong way to do driving for dollars. That's the wrong way to do it. Knock on the door, step back, and tell the person, hey, my company is Chucky Buy Lucky Houses. We're looking to buy at least 5 to 7 properties in your neighborhood this week. You know anybody interested in selling? That's how you act to them. Behind the door, not straight up into them. Because all you're going to get is negativity when you go up there and saying, I want to buy your house. Tell them you're looking to buy 3 to 5 houses in that neighborhood. Do they know anybody interested in selling? Oh, by the way, you wouldn't have to be interested in selling yours, would you? You see how I slid that in there? That's how you do it. That's right. So, door hangers. Lady printing, $5,185. Lady printing. Expired withdrawing listings. 90 days expired and have not been relisted. That's the key. At least 90 days expired and has not been relisted. All the way up to a year. Follow-up campaign, a letter first, then a postcard, then a lumpy mail piece, then every 30 days a letter or a postcard for 12 months. Notice of default filings. We don't do this in Maryland. We do this in the other cities that we work in, other states that we do investing in. Notice of default means that a lis pendens has been filed on a property, meaning the person is going to be foreclosed on in 30, 60, or 90 days. The actual lender has filed a lis pendens to take the property back to foreclose on the property. You can buy that list 30, 60, 90 days late on the mortgage. Follow-up campaign. Letter, postcard, lumpy mail piece, 30 days, 1 apiece, 12 months. Last but not least, code enforcement violation. We use TLO for code enforcement violation. When we're doing code enforcement violation, we're looking to get the telephone number, and we're going to follow up with a postcard every 30 days for at least 1 year. And that, my friend, is our key to direct mail marketing and the follow-ups that you do to convert. Any questions regarding this?
The one you said, except in Maryland.
Yes, that was notice of default. You can't do that in Maryland because you can't target somebody that's in foreclosure in Maryland unless it's an absentee property, absentee owner.
That was great, thank you.
Thank you.
What was the 3 to 5 levels for absentee owner?
The 3 to 5 levels were absentee owner, level 1, in a particular zip code, level 2, with equity in the property, level 3, with a high income to debt ratio, level 4, and multiple credit lines or trade lines, level 5. Question is, how do you get a 5-level deep list? Answer is, I'm not going to tell you. No. The name of the company is called Dunhill. Dunhill, Dunhill. My representative there that I work with on a regular basis, her name is Chrissy Milano. Do a Google search for Dunhill List Brokers. You'll find it on Google. Tell her Charles sent you. Milano. Milano. Now, my top 10 tools, hacks, and resources, number 3 is retargeting. This has been on my list for the last 3 years, and it's huge. It's also known as remarketing. Now, what is it? It's a legal way to stalk your prospects, clients, with a message once they either come to your website or come to your Facebook site, Facebook. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say somebody do a search for We Buy Houses companies. And it come up Express Home Buyers. Now that's an ad, because notice it says ad. Doesn't matter if it was an ad or if it was the website property. But they come up to the site Express Home Buyers and they click on the link. And they go to Brad's site. So they say, do I really want to sell right now? Or the kids start making noise and life gets in the way and they just leave the site without doing anything. So what Brad does is, due to the fact that they came to his site, he inserted a little cookie in their browser. And what that cookie does, it allows Brad to spy on them. So when they go to Facebook, they see Brad's ad. It says, do you still need to sell your house? I know you was on my website. Ooh. Well, they say, oh, that's just a coincidence. They go to ESPN, and they go, Brad again. He's still following them on ESPN. They go to Oprah, and there goes Brad, still following them. Now, what Brad is doing is what you call brand awareness, brand enlightenment. He's keeping that brand name in their mind so that when they are ready to sell, they will go to Brad's website. And then they go to CNN. Lock her up. No, I'm just joking. And they see Brad again. Brad is everywhere. As a matter of fact, Brad could follow them all over the internet for 6, 9, 12 months if he wanted to. How many of you guys go to Amazon and their products follow you everywhere you go? That's remarketing. That's retargeting. That is one of the leading ways to build conversion in your business. Because only 10% of the people will be ready to do business with you the first time they touch you. The other 90% needs to be touched 5, 6, 7 times. That's why Fortune 500 companies are doing that. That's why we're doing it. That's why Brad is doing it. Now, easiest way to get set up for this is Google. Pay-per-click network. Contact Google. They will help you set up your whole retargeting campaign for you on their actual retargeting networks. Campaign is based on what dollar amount you want to spend. You can spend $5 a day. You can spend $20 a day. It's up to you and your budget. So it is cost effective for the person that has a small budget. It is killer for the person that can really spend some money with it. Now, on Facebook. Facebook also has retargeting built inside of their ad campaign. It's called a retargeting pixel. They will give you a pixel that you can put on your website that will allow anytime the person goes to Facebook, they will see your ads. So if they visit your website, they will see your ads on Facebook. Here's how we use this. And we use it with a twist. Facebook has something called custom audience. A custom audience is an email list of people that you have. That's one custom audience. So we get sellers, buyers, renters who give us their email address. And what we do with that email address, we upload it in Facebook. And every time that person comes into Facebook, they see our ads. That's what's called a Facebook retargeting indoor custom audience campaign. So, remarketing, retargeting, number 3. Bob just asked me, does it cost money? It does, but it's also based on your budget. Your budget could be $5 a day. Your budget could be $10 a week. It's based on your budget.
Is that based on how many clicks somebody click on Facebook?
Great question. Is it based on how many clicks? Yes. They have 2 mediums. One is called per click, one is called impressions. Impressions is measured by 1,000. For every 1,000, it's $1. Clicks are by per click. For every click, it's 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents. It depends on the competitive nature of the keywords that you're trying to rank for your post. Call tracking and analytics. So you have the business up and running. Now that business is up and running, you need to track everything. You need to know how many calls came in from Craigslist, how many calls came in from Bandit Signs, how many calls came in from probate, how many calls came in from absentee owners. And that's where your call tracking and analytics system will come into play. What we use is something called CallRail. CallRail will not only give you a tracking number, but it would also give you a whole metric for you to measure the tracking. It allow you to record the actual message. It allow you to call from the system so that you can call from your tracking number. It has a phone app for your phone, Android and iPhone, that you can download onto your phone. It will give your business that look of a high-powered machine. An example. Everything I show you guys, nothing of this is theory. It's what we're using and how we're using it. These are all the calls that comes into our business. Now we're talking about calls from deals people have to sell, tenant placement, expired listings, vacant properties. And the system allows you to record both sides of the conversation, tells you exactly what the person said in the process. We have a manager, her name is Holly, will even grade the call. I'll give you an example. Is Hilma here? Tanisha? Okay. This is a call that came in. And when you click on that call,
has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 443627854 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished,
so record that side of it.
or press 1 for more options.
Hello, hi, I'm calling for a birth along. This is Tori with Chucky 5 Lucky Houses. I'm interested in purchasing your property on 1428 North Elwood Avenue.
So that's one of my lead agents. And what she does, she called the person, left a message. It recorded both sides of the conversation. And what Holly would do on Monday, she will come in and grade the call. Okay, it's a thumbs up. The value of the call is X amount of dollars based on the numeration we gave them, the actual notes for the call, and so on. So every week, I get a report of all the calls that came in, what were hot leads, what was medium leads, what was cold leads. I got my whole business right there in front of me for my team to work through. Holly is my project manager, and it's her job to go through all these leads and bring everything down to the 100-foot view for me at the end of each week.
That's based off the scripts that they have to let you know what how to go deal. So then your next person screens and only causes people that meet a particular parameter of what you're looking for.
His question is the grade based on the script that you give your people to tell them exactly what level that deal is? Yes, it absolutely is.
Do you have an answering service, or do you just like a live person?
Yeah, the question is this an answering service or live person? Live people. Only thing we use an answering service for, and actually it's voicemail, is for bandit signs. Everything else has to be answered live in my business. Bandit signs go directly to a voice message. The question is there a difference in the level of closing from high level with a live person as opposed to an answering machine? And the answer is absolutely yes. Each and every one of you, when at all possible, because I know some of you guys work full time, when at all possible, should be taking that call as soon as it comes in. When you get to the level of your business running like a machine, the minute the call comes in, a person takes the call and an offer is made within an hour. That's how your business should be run. So as soon as that call comes in, that person who's handling that lead is actually taking all the information, and either they're giving an offer on the phone, or they're gonna call that person back within an hour after they pull the comps and gotten all the information they need in order to make an offer. So we make a preliminary offer on the phone, and then we confirm that offer when we get to the property. If we get close to a yes on the phone to the number we need to be at, we go to the house. I don't want my people going around looking at junk. If the seller isn't close to where we need to be at, why are you going to look at the property? That's how you get burned out as a real estate investor. Going around looking at 500 houses and only 3 of them had a seller that had a price that you could buy. So we get the seller to a number that's close to where we want to buy on the phone, and then we go to the property and close the deal. The exception to that is this. If the property has a lot of equity or is free and clear, then I don't care where the seller is at. I'm going to the house. I'm going to set up the appointment. So when that seller calls and I find out that that property is free and clear or has a lot of equity, the first thing out of my mind is, or first thing out of my mouth is, oh, Mr. Jackson, what time of the day can I come by between 3 and 5? Never ask a seller, when can you come by? You tell them, what time can I come by between 3 and 5? What time can I come by tomorrow between 4 and 6? If you leave it up to the seller, you're leaving your money in the hands of the seller. And more than likely, somebody like me is going to come and get it. Because when that seller gets off the phone talking to you, and and they told you you can come by next week, they're going to call me up. And I'm going to ask them what time of the day can I come by. And I'm going to close the house while you're waiting next week to go there because you asked the seller when can you come by there. Take control of the negotiations. That was an early negotiation trick I learned from one of my mentors years ago. And I've been teaching this to my mastermind students ever since. You have to take control of the negotiation process. When you're talking to a seller about buying a house, you're buying a property, not a home. People don't like to sell their homes. Home is emotional. A property removes the emotion. When you want them to fill the paperwork out, you're not asking them to fill out the paperwork, you're not asking them to fill out the contract, you're asking them to fill out the paperwork. People are not intimidated by paperwork, but they're intimidated by a contract. They want to get a lawyer when you say, can you fill out the contract? So you ask them, are you ready to fill out the paperwork? These little things make all the difference when you're negotiating. So, CallRail, great system for you to use. What do we pay? What does CallRail cost? Let me see. Let me find out for you guys. They have a 14-day free trial. No credit card needed. Hey, come on now. Look at that. 14-day free trial. Then after that, let's see what it is after the trial. I mean, I done had it for so long. The bills just come in and it just get paid by the accountant. There you go. The starter plan is $30 a month. The pro plan is $130 a month. And this is what you get. You get different numbers and so on and so on. The starter plan gives you, let's see, a couple of numbers, call recording live, including 10 local numbers. You're just starting out. You're not going to need more than 10 numbers. You get 50, 500 local minutes and 100 text messages. All of that is built into the system. So, CallRail. That's absolutely correct. Now the question is, what if you want to use an answering service? You can't take the calls. Answering service I recommend when I ask or have my mentoring students use it is a service called Pat Live. Now I say it with a level of skepticism. And the reason why is whenever you hire somebody else to do the work for you, I believe that no one can do the work as good as you. But you can't scale your business unless you have other people do the work for you. So it's sort of like an oxymoron. Pat Live. The key to working with Pat Live is every week you need to be checking and calling in as if you're a seller so you can see how they are taking your calls. Because they have been known to have one person do the calls for 2 weeks, and then a new person comes in, and they take your calls totally different than the person that was up to speed with how to answer the phone. So you want to keep on checking with them by calling in, pretending to be a seller at least once a week. But that's a good service that you can use if you don't have time to take the calls or you're working a full-time job. Remember, the key to this business is that when that seller calls you, at that moment, they're in the mindset of, I may want to sell my house. So you can't wait 24 hours to get back to them. Because the minute they get off the phone with you, if they're still in that mindset, they're going to look for another wholesaler or another person that We Buy Houses company. And they're going to call that person. And they're going to call another person. And then another person. And you got to get to them the quickest. And that means getting them that offer to them as quickly as possible. Ideally, 1 hour or less. So scale your business to the point where as soon as you get a call, you jump off that phone call, you get with your real estate agent, they send you comps, you do your assessment based on repairs, and then you call that seller back with your offer. But remember, if the property is free and clear, while I'm on the phone, I'm going to set up the time for me to go by there to see the property. How many of you guys like bonuses? You like bonuses? Now, some of you guys already have one of my favorite bonuses. How many of you guys would like to get my exact 100 plus page playbook of contracts, LLC agreements, business plan, scripts that we use in our business, contractors agreements, and everything over 150 pages for free? Well, all you got to do is wait till the end of the presentation. You better get back over there. Make me want to. Okay, call fire. For those of you who don't have that budget for a call rail, you could use a program called CallFire. CallFire will give you a tracking number that will allow you to record the conversation of all incoming calls. So you can put a tracking number for your bandit signs, a tracking number for your website, a tracking number for your probate, a tracking number for your absentee owner letters. And when that person calls in, as soon as you pick up the phone, it says Craigslist lead, absentee owner lead, probate lead. It tells you where the lead came from. And it also records both sides of the conversation. It also has a text messaging and text voicemail blast system built into it. It's not as detailed or as compact as CallRail, but for those of you who are on a small budget, CallFire is your answer. Yes. CallFire, you can buy a number from CallFire. The number will cost you $3 and $1 a month. So you can have a business in any city, in any country, and it will forward back to your business in Baltimore. So if you want to have a business in Los Angeles, you buy a Los Angeles number. You want to have a business in New York, you buy a New York number, and it will forward back to your Baltimore number. Vumber is sort of like on the level of CallRail. I like CallRail better than Vumber. Last but not least, when it comes to analytics and call tracking, is Twilio. Twilio is on the same level as CallFire, so even if your budget is even smaller than CallFire, you got Twilio. The numbers in Twilio only cost you $1